Hi, this is Tom
and Tuomo.
We are from BigBadBeats and this is the Inside Track.
Me and Tommi know way back, I think like 15-20 years, we used to live in this pretty small town called Joensuu in eastern Finland, and we both were into like rock music, and we did play in a couple of bands together. We started more experimenting with like pop music and
producing.
Yeah. First we had this like EDM pop duo called Motions, and we were actually signed to Universal Music as well, and we did like maybe 4 or 5 songs. It either didn't feel like our thing, like we all the time were like leaning towards producing for other artists
rather than being artists.
Yeah,
ourselves. Yeah.
So it was like pretty natural route for us, but it did take a lot of years to like find our sound, and we made tons of mistakes, but that's how we got started.
With this beat, it actually happened to start like all our other beats, that we didn't think about it too much, but we like to experiment. We'd like to experiment with different styles and genres. And with this one, we, for some reason, wanted to combine like Latin music with like our funk pop vibes that we're known for nowadays, basically. And the funny thing is that how it ended up being this kind of like funk pop Latin pop song, but it ended up being used by an Indian musician, artist, and it was made by Nordic producer, so it's kind of funny.
We usually start with chords because to us chords gives the atmosphere and the vibe of the song. So I can actually show you, because we usually start with the guitars because we're guitarists.
Yeah. And
we transitioned that this time to piano, but whatever. So it was really simple chords. That's just really simple C minor, G sharp major, G major and F. And the G major is the one that gives the Latin vibe, because it's not a traditional pop structure.
And we actually listen to a lot of like bossa nova and Latin music to get that vibe. Of course, not like to a T, but inspiration from there, and then combine that with the more funk pop rhythm and bass grooves.
Yeah, and that guitar structure basically turned into this piano, which does this looping, almost repetitive structure right here. Yeah, and that plays almost throughout the song, except for I think the pre-chorus and the outro. We wanted to have simple drums as the foundation, and groovy bass and the piano. Those are the 3 main elements, and everything else is just like ear candy.
Yeah. And also just to mention, with the piano, we had the idea of the sound must have some kind of ambience, so we took inspiration, or it should lead the listener to some kind of like emotional state. So we wanted the sound to be almost like you're at some kind of like Latin music club or nightclub.
But those 3 really simple elements like carry the whole song basically. So here's the chorus actually, yeah.
Then it goes to the verse.
Here's the verse. It's really simple.
Yes, really simple 4 on the floor, disco, funk pop kind of vibes.
So the drums stay pretty much the same, the whole song. Just the vibe with the piano and some acoustic guitar, I think, changes in the pre-chorus. So the structure is really simple, which we love.
Yeah, but
The
we
more
have
simple, the better.
But we also love to like layer elements. So eventually, while the song processes goes forward, we like to add some additional elements. You might not hear them, but they bring so much more energy. So it's not always the same just for the 4 loop, but there's also additional percussion here and there that brings some excitement to the listener.
In the verse, for example, the piano is no longer as it is, but there's this guitar that I actually played a little bit, which makes the same chords and the same rhythm. So it's the same idea with a different instrument.
And more funk vibe.
Yeah, more funk vibe.
Yeah.
Without this track, I think there might not be that many, or except the bass, of course, it's funky. But these 2 elements give the funkiness to the beat. Comes an acoustic guitar, which I think the melody reminds a little bit even like Finnish traditional music.
Yeah. I think it's called like Schlager music. So the melody is a reminder of that. So that's kind of funny little info. But yeah, the whole part like has different chords comparing to the other parts to bring this kind of like tension and build up that leads towards the chorus. And with that traditional Finnish melancholic Schlager traditional music melody, I think it brings this kind of new exciting feeling to the song even.
Yeah, and actually in the final version of the song, Karanaula actually sings that melody.
Yeah.
So that's funny, they transitioned the guitar melody into vocals. With this track we used a lot of Omnisphere and we used a lot of Waves plugins in overall for mixing, but with this one we used Omnisphere for the piano.
Yeah, and for like string instruments and stuff like that, because we are no violin players. We like to use contact. Almost you can't hear difference between like that and real strings.
Yeah, but yeah, there's not like any real tricks with this track. It's just a simple pop structure, in our opinion, and that's what we wanted.
I think we have had this kind of special mentality towards our beats and music like a couple of years now, or even our whole career, that the music must give you some kind of emotion. It must bring you some kind of emotion, and that's a thing we heard from another producer in Finland, and the same thing happened here. That eventually, when we had that pre-chorus and that tension brought up the song to the whole new level, I think that the emotion and groove, like everything just combined, and we knew that there was something like there.
With these beats where we combine 2 genres, we always think these might be the beats that a bigger artist also get excited about because it's something new. There's a little bit different than a regular pop song, which can be a really good pop song, but it's nothing new, I would say.
Yeah, and if we were to expect some kind of vibes from a singer, I think we were expecting like a Latin vibe,
yeah.
Latin pop. But to have a huge Indian artist making a song with the beat was great, was exciting.
Yeah.
Producers might think that you always need to have tens and thousands of layers of different instruments, but like you can see with this track, the most simplistic stuff might be the one you need.
Technical perfection is far from being the most important thing of a music piece.
Yeah.
That might be like a bad mix can be a good thing for a song, I think, if it's like interesting in some way. Like compared to like everything is just so perfect, and in like time everything is quantized perfectly, that can be boring. Just focus on bringing as much emotion to the music as you can.
And keep making lots of music.
Yeah, do tons of music.
Yeah,
You get
because it's a
better-
learning process.
Yeah.
And don't hesitate to start. That's the biggest problem, that people think too much and they don't even dare to start making music. So just do it.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
You'll learn along the way, I'd say. And BeatStars also has made it possible to just like, it didn't have a high threshold to just upload beats online and test the waters out. I'd say, what I'm thinking of. Yeah. So, and because BeatStars offered the pro page, you could have awesome looking like a website, like one click and just start selling your beats. And this was amazing tool to have when you're starting with online beat selling.
Yeah, and of course we had no idea where it would lead. We were just hoping at that point to get to the point where music is our profession, and in the beginning it was not. Far from it, but over time things that kind of grew slowly but steadily, and yeah, that's how it went. We're gonna go strong with BeatStars, of course. It's working really well for us.
हुस्न तेरा तौबा